Why you should never wait until you're ready. This is something I always talk about when I meet people that are aspiring to start their businesses, but they feel like they do not have it all. I normally give them one lesson that a mom taught me before I even knew what business was. She used to say it was never a good time to have a baby. Even though I was the only child she ever had, she lived by that rule. She believed waiting for perfection was just another way of standing still. Whenever she told my dad the news, he didn't panic. He didn't check the savings account or worry about the space. This is mom telling me. He just put on his coat and went out to buy another bed. He knew the comfort would come later, but the commitment had to happen now. That mindset became my blueprint. This is one of the greatest lessons that moves me forward. When I started building my own work, I grew it the same way my dad built our family. He expanded before we felt ready. We hired before the revenue was fully secured, not because we were reckless, but because I learned early. If you wait until the conditions are perfect, you will never move. You will, and you can't move. Every great entrepreneur I know expands before the business is theoretically ready. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's the only formula I've seen that drives real aggression. When you are overextended, you do not have the luxury of overthinking. You move faster, you get smarter, you figure it out because the rent is due. You just get it figured out when you're like, hey, you need to pay the rent, while in the pocket there is nothing to give. Now, sitting across the table from founders and advising on complex deals, I see hundreds of plans. I see passionate people. I see big ideas. I see spreadsheets full of projections. And sure, the numbers matters, But before I put my reputation or capital behind anyone, or before I advise investors to put reputation or capital behind anyone, I'm looking for something else entirely that most people do not think of. I'm looking for that same instinct my dad had. Street smart. Not the polished answer, but the gut reaction. The person who can read a room, spot an opening others miss, and rally a team without a script. Too many pitches feel rehearsed. The winners, they have been knocked down. And they got back up fast. Because here's the truth, and I'm going to tell you this brand truth. Resilience is not something you learn. It's built in. The best founders don't spend the time feeling sorry for themselves when things go wrong. They take the hit, adjust, and come back saying, hit me again. Here I am, hit me again. Here I am, hit me again. They keep moving. They keep pushing forward. They don't quit. So if you're building something, ask yourself, are you waiting for the perfect moment? The complete plan? The safe bet? The moment doesn't exist, my brother. That moment does not exist, my sister. Growth happens when you commit before you're ready. When you buy the bed before the baby arrives. You're just prepared to face any kind of situation. Because there will be a lot of surprises. There will be a lot of surprise. You just need to get ready. You just need to be ready to face them. The market will test you. It will push you back. What matters is not whether you fall. It's how fast you choose to rise again. That's the difference between a good idea and a breakout success. Not the plan, but the person executing it. This is Enoch Salapion, your business advisor. Thank you.